Zdravím všechny, co se kanál tady ze Stres a vítejte u lehce netradičního vsuvkového intra. Díl, před který toto intro dávám, byl rozdělený vejpůl, protože celý to maso toho Archon Questu bylo v jednom velkém celku a rozdělit ho normálně, organicky, jak jsem to dělal předtím, nešlo, tak jsem ho musel udělat na jeden zátah úplně celý. A tak to takhle anorganicky uměle rozděluju tímto umělým intrem. Takže vítejte u druhé půlky, nebo druhé třetiny, pravděpodobně půlky tohoto dalšího dílu v Archon Questu. Toto video bude pokračovat tam, kde to předchozí skončilo, a.k.a. při vstupu do divadla Epicles, kde se chystá Linyho show. Příjemnou zábavu.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment, I'll fetch the tickets.
Casual talks, Lynette.
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks, Linny.
Hopefully not in the splash zone.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Oh well. Sure, let's get busy.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny.
What is up the stairs? OK. Takový klasický divadelní setup. Snad se tu v divadle nestane nějaká vražda.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down.
Vážně už tam sedí Nový, nebo to byla Fata Morgana? Jo, Nový už tu sedí. Hi.
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still, it's kind of awkward if we don't say anything.
Isn't that usually your job?
You little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
Hey, thank you.
I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh,
Yep.
so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. What should we talk
Oh,
about?
this is even more awkward. A to je přesně ten důvod, proč se cítí, jako když se chtěl propadnout do země každou minutou silněji.
Paimon's got
Don't
it.
make it awkward.
You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Já jako vím, jakou má oficiální pozici a jaká je zhruba jeho osobnost z toho Lantern Rightu, ale to, co se mi děje přímo před mýma očima, k tomu absolutně nesedí. Jakože absolutně ani náhodou. Žongli se ho vyvaroval jak čert kříže. tohodle týpka. Takže mi jako neříkejte ani náhodou, že ten týpek je hodnej nebo milej, protože jako není.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make our introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an
Yes,
honor it is to have you
Nervillet.
here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linny. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now.
Yep.
I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise she may become flustered.
Satisfajněte její ego, protože má tak masivní ego, že když jí nebudete dávat pozornost, tak se stane něco horšího. So, look at her. Go ahead.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
On prostě ví přesně, jak na ní. Týpek jí má úplně přečtenou. Takže pokud budeme muset v nějakým způsobem čelit proti němu, tak to bude hodně v prdeli. Protože ten má prostě hodně věcí přečtený od A do Z.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
I mean, jejich osobnosti jsou naprosto nekompatibilní, takže jako to je absolutně očekávatelný. Jako Furina je jaká je a tenhle týpek jenom je Chief Justice a chce být nechán na pokoji.
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before!
Crowds enter the venue and curtains open for the show to begin. Oh, it actually happens.
Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting!
Shh! Don't scream!
Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Fucking chatterbox.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny.
Hey, whoa!
And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Jasně.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point.
Damn.
That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations.
Sure.
I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough.
Oh boy, I hope nothing weird happens. Doufám, že se nestane něco, co rozvrátí Fontaine v nějakým smyslu při tomhletom velmi důležitém vystoupení.
Oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye.
Okay.
A magician's greatest
Cinematic.
skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky.
Yes.
Using this water tank,
Small
I shall
preparations.
make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Doufám, že se tam nezasekne. Taky Klorinda byl v pozadí.
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still
Okay.
there? Don't
Yep.
go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Cool. To bylo cool.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Paimon didn't seem to do anything.
To je ta podstata.
Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
No wonder he's a famous magician. What a show.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared.
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance, but our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant, in which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member.
Jestli to bude Lumine, tak já přísám. Nebo Nový.
Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now.
Kdyby to byla Lumina, tak by to bylo zajímavý, ale takový jako, že wow, jsem tu první den a vybere mě, protože he knows me.
There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box.
Doufám, že pod tím theatrem není nějaký tajný tunel nebo něco takového.
Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
Let's watch and see.
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate.
To je pravda, kdyby si někoho vybral sám, tak by mohli lidi říct, vybral si tu osobu on purpose. I když to může vybrat
Now
kohokoliv.
then, let's begin.
No, jestli to bude Neuville nebo Furina, já přísám, že mě se mnou sekne.
Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the fortress of Meripede.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
I'm sure Lenny's prepared. With the whole crowd counting together, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60.
60! 59!
That's right.
Yes, we get it.
Perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Never?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just...
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example...
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all.
I think it's all part of the show. He's just supremely confident in his abilities.
What was that noise? Did you hear it too?
Here comes this. Maybe it was just to divert our attention.
Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it.
25! 24! 23! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my...
Ne, oni to fakt udělají.
Still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
Oni to fakt udělají, já je nesnáším. Já je absolutně nesnáším. Samozřejmě, že udělají vystoupení, kterýho se zúčastníme, který skončí totální zkázou, protože podělají jeden ze svých triků. A bude to hrozně embarrassing. A já se second hand hanbou propadnu do země za ně. I hate. Já nezáží, jestli to v Genshin nebo kdekoliv jinde. Já tyhle situace také nesnáším. To vlastně si nemůžu pomoct.
90!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
Almost there now.
Stopping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
No.
Ta-da!
Prosím, že bude totálně v tahu a že bude mrtvá nebo zmizela. Jo, jak jsem to věděl. Ach jo, jak jsem mohl vědět, že prostě jí totálně zabijou. Holy shit, já to předpověděl. Obzvláště když tak prostě zabrali na to. Well, skončil to tragédií, jak jsem předpověděl, protože to tak celý bylo framenutý.
Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
Well, she's not any anymore. Buď se stala jednou z kapek vody v celého Fontaineu, nebo je z ní hodně kečupovitá palačinka. Either or.
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of justice.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
The guards complete their investigation.
Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage.
Okay.
As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found.
OK, takže zemřel ten týpek, ne, ta holka z hlediště nezemřela.
It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Ah.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
And to pull it off like this in front of the audience, including the Archon and Chief Justice.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right. How can Lenny do this?
Skoruptovaný systém, ona prostě to svrhne na něj, protože může. A nikdo moc s tím nemůže nic udělat, protože je to její slovo proti jeho slovu a ona má větší váhu.
He was in the box on the stage the entire time.
He's suspect at most. It's hard to believe all this happened during the show.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well,
Wow.
I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
Wow. Zničila celou reputaci.
Of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent of... That's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
I trust them.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Linney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome.
I will make you lose.
So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide...
Já jí budu přeskakovat dialogy, protože ona mluví tak zdlouhavě.
Obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case?
Absolutely.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
Everyone dismissed and the audience begins to leave along with them. We are your attorneys.
Sorry about everything that
That
happened
just
just
happened.
now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
I mean, it's hard to say.
I understand. Even I'm not sure what happened, so I can only imagine how difficult it is for you to grasp the situation. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did.
První krok by bylo, aby si nám přesně popsal, jak probíhá ten proces transformace z jedné krabice do druhé a jak se do toho dá nabourat.
Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Yes, it is very strange, but there's no denying what happened.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Where did you get that?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry. Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have
Aw.
good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm used to this sort of thing.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case.
Hell yeah.
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Where are Linny and Lynette's attorneys?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Jak řekl Linny, mystery layered upon mystery layered upon mystery. To jsou asi snad 2 nebo 3 různé záhady a vedlejší záhady zkombinovaný do jednoho.
What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see.
V podstatě, aby jsme očistili Linnyho, tak musíme zároveň vyřešit nejenom, co se stalo tady, ale zároveň tu záhadu zmizelých žen. Obě 2 tyhle ty věci musíme vyřešit, aby jsme plně jako ho očistili.
The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
But wasn't the girl supposed to be in there?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Of course we are.
You can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
But that's not always true. People can be also just as reliable.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
You can use case records to confirm your current evidence and clue collections or case information. You can check as yet undiscovered evidence and close case records and investigate corresponding to locate them. Use the perception skill to find evidence and clues that can be investigated with a certain radius around yourself to advance your overall progress. Good. Gardes investigation report. The investigation from the Gardes indicates that the fireworks launched at the tail end of the magic performance set the rope dangling water tank alight, causing the tank to fall and kill Cowl, who was within. It seems evident that Linny is the likeliest user of the program crime. However, the reason for the victim being Cowl and the reason for the chosen lady's disappearance remains a mystery. Vidíme jeho obličej pod tou maskou. The identity of deceased. Lenny's assistant named Cowell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up and inspecting the props as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. Detective in action. Yeah, if God weren't inside a box at the moment, he might have dodged a falling water tank. The magic box itself. Why am I blessed on seeing that the guard has completed this? Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. The rope itself.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
So either only generalize a second concern, or...
Why are you suddenly so serious, traveler?
Je to jen něco, co by bylo možné, jako teoreticky možný, ale někdo to mohl udělat úplně jinak. Just looking where the rope snapped.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Seems to be flammable, like a type of flash cotton.
Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes!
Yes. Rope, který requisitional pro tuhletu akci někdo cíleně udělal z jiného materiálu než jakýkoliv jiný rope. Takže odkud se ten rope vzal, by bylo taky dobrý lead. Let's ask this person over here.
Hello there! What...
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Could you tell us who he is? We're Lenny and Lynette's attorneys.
Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspect. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us know all this.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us.
Co když ten přístroj, co Liny měl na tom stage na vybírání, kdo bude ten náhodný člověk, který bude účastníkem té Magic výměny. Co když ten stroj byl cinknutý? A.k.a. co když ten stroj byl zmanipulován a upraven podle požadavků toho pravýho kriminálníka? Se v tom hrabal protože vybrat ze všech těch lidí specificky holku, specificky v určitém věkovém range a specificky prostě ze všech těch lidí tuhletu konkrétní osobu, nebo tenhle konkrétní typ osoby, to je hodně velká náhoda. A všechny ty sedadla se rezervujou dopředu. Včetně toho jejího, takže ona by... Všichni ty lidi tam jsou jakože známí, kdo se tam ukáže. Takže jenom ten člověk by z těch lidí prostě do toho stroje uzamknul, že ten stroj vybere tu jednu osobu, která tam má to rezervované místo, takže... Kámo, mě teď se rozjel mozek a prostě to všechno dává smysl. Všechno to dává tak dobrý smysl, protože ten týpek za těma zmizeníma těch holek v tom středním věku, řekněme, nevím kdy přesně, to zatím neřekli. Jestli ten týpek zmizel všechny ve středním věku, tak prostě řetězec otázek. Jak mohl vybrat tuhletu konkrétní osobu? Teď Liny měl ten náhodostroj. No jo, ale co je to stroj? Ten může být nějak sabotován. Co když ten týpek za tímhle zmizeníma sabotoval ten stroj, aby vybral tu osobu? Protože ty osoby jsou tam známí, všichni mají rezervovaný sedadla, takže ten seznam lidí už věděl, kdo tam bude a že jedna z možných obětí se zúčastní a tak to uzamknul na ní. A všechno to bylo naprosto předvídatelný pro tohoto člověka, a i když ostatní mysleli, že to je random.
It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Až to celý bude zapadat do sebe na konci a celý tvrdý lidí, tak to bude tak satisfying. Missing lady, Halsey. She famous painter, she was magic show, not really brave on her creative work. She has entangled in quarrels, and will tennis magic trope. Což prostě jenom zdroj. Je tam jeden týpek v tom hledišti. Samozřejmě, že je to věc.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, if you find any new and interesting leads...
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But
Wow.
wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
Wow. Twitter people could never.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
During the switching performance, there was an audible thump that many audience people heard. To je pravda. Když to pravděpodobně mohl být Liny, který chtěl za každou cenu mít ty dekorace uvnitř toho prostě srovnaný. YouTube.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
Já to říkal.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all.
Yep.
The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Yep. Don't be biased. This device was used during Linny's magic performance, so she was a lucky member. However, the guards have found out that it will generate the exact same number no matter what. Clearly, someone's tampered with the thing. Co úplně vzadu? Ta druhá krabice? Jo, ta druhá krabice. Duh. It's like saying an ordinary box. Only sound moved instantly from one box into the other. How did he do it? Lenny a ostatní stojí tady.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
Front lobby.
You! Yes, both of you! Over here!
Tohle.
I've had an eye on you for a while now.
Yep.
Huh? You mean us?
Poznávám jí z baneru.
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No.
Milady?
And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Who are you again?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Cool.
Those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Melus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
Do you care about the investigation at all, too?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally.
Wow.
My unparalleled intuition.
No, je to blondýna, takže všichni víme, jak se tomu dá věřit.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
Jenom na to čekala, ona chtěla mermomocí za každou cenu prostě ho obvinit z něčeho. Ale to byla jenom hodně dobrá výmluva.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Čím víc jim nebude věřit, tím líp.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Oh, when you put it like that.
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me.
Oh, we'll see about that.
In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No.
Well?
Usually, no.
And why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment.
See, Silver and Melus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent.
Takže všichni tyhle si to taky myslí.
No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Melus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Since now.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
Cool.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point, Paimon.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth.
Sure.
You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, miss? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
What, are you suspicious?
Oh, alrighty then.
Je ten killer nebo ten týpek, co za to může, jeden z těch dvou guardů, vole?
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks.
Speaking of that, I think magic shows would be very popular in Poisson.
I can see that. Maybe I should try to learn some magic. If I can make things disappear, cleaning my room would be a cinch.
You need not worry about such things, Demoiselle. That falls under my duty.
Oh.
Cool. I still... Pořád mám 2 ze 3. Stvoření. Member of the Gardas, okay.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then either.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Melusines.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info.
No one left the Opera House during the magic show, and after the incident happened, only those whose identity is cleared by the guards could leave.
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Yep.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived.
Oh, Navia.
Who's this? Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes,
Yeah.
a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
Že je to přicementovaný k podlaze?
I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Wait, is there another box inside this one?
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
And the passage links the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel.
Jsem to říkal, že je mezi nimi tunel.
See
Já to
this
totálně
flatbed
věděl.
trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
OK. Takže on tam celou dobu nebyl. Všechny to zmatkování a to vychození tam a zpátky byl celý jenom iluze.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
Okay.
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked!
Okay.
Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
Takže ten Liny, co vyšel na tom místě toho hlediště, v tom hledišti, tak to byla Lynette, ne Liny. OK. Zajímavý. I can tell that what was better than
Lynette
this.
would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Magic trick. Liny gave detail again how the trick was supposed to work. The audience member was probably at the tunnel underneath. Liny herself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Meanwhile, having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interaction. And the magic box on-stage additional layer to its rear, in which Lynette in which Lynette, in Linny's clothes, remained hidden. She would appear at the end of the magic trick and then lead people to believe that Linny advanced to move on the other side. The magic box at the center, audience side magic box tricks. Taky jedna věc, kterou bych chtěl adresnout minimálně, ohledně toho, že Lynette se může převléknout za Linnyho. Linny má sakra štěstí, že jeho sestra není víc obdařená v oblasti hrudníku, řekněme. Protože kdyby byla víc obdařená, tak by to bylo hodně těžké to zaonačit. Protože by to nevypadalo úplně stejně. If you catch my drift. Anyway. The magic bus has two layers beneath that to undergo turn. So the login and transport without the audience member noticing. This will control device for a trolley, so it will operate automatically. Ladder. Ladder is where there to a magic box above.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Part of a trick?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear. And here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Broken flower vase. There are many pieces of broken flowers on one side of the tunnel. All the water within has been spilled. Judging from distance, it seems unlikely it was knocked over by the trolley. Možná, když jí nějaký ten týpek kradl, tak... Lily. Možná, když ten týpek kradl tu holku, tak lehce stragglili mezi sebou a než ji ukradnou, tak ta typka schodila tu vázu. Protože když by ji kradl a vyzvedával by ji jakože zevnitřka té krabice ven, tak by stál tady na té straně. Just wondering.
What looks like a hook tied to
Grappling
the end
hook.
of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Lena didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Drop the grappling hook. A rope that's fallen to the ground. Metal hook is at one end of it. Its use case is unclear. Dostat se na nějaký vysoký místa, nebo něco zaháknout a pak to půlnout na druhou stranu. Clothing.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Then it mentioned the guest having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Well, možná ji převlíknou jako nějakého normálního člověka, aby mohli odejít oficiálně hlavními dveřmi? Maybe? Young lady's clothes. Very purple. Clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing. Tracks. High precision is required in Magic Show, and tracks are perfect for making trolleys stay on the designated course. Duh. Storage boxes. All kinds of bronze costume habits are stuffed inside. Trolley itself. Trolley is crucial transportation box. The characters must use this to execute their plan. Ventilačka.
What is this place?
Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Podle toho, kam to vede.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes, and Linny and Lynette were in the 2 magic boxes.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
The tunnel vent looks like it could allow one person passage, barely, but leaving along with the missing lady is very unrealistic.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up.
A já bych stejně chtěl prolíst tím ventem, jako kam to vede. Jako i kdyby jako nějak se tam řádně vešel, nebo kdyby ta holka ukradená jako šla s ním třeba jako záměrně, že by v tom byla jako i ona a jako oba dva šli dobrovolně za sebou, což by bylo úplně možný, tak jako kam to vede. Exemplar, no.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crimes. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
Aha! Čekněme ten basement, teď hned.
The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
Ale co když se tam taky něco stalo?
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
Would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
Yes.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa,
Wow.
There's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be picky. I'm
In
good.
that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon!
Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Mám celou konvici, kam bych se mohl vytratit.
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Please come with me. Okay, lead on, old man.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Já taky mám sebou portable stove. Ten gadget vyloženě existuje a já ho mám sebou.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina de Rosula thing. Navia methodically handles ingredients, both fresh macarons out of the oven in short order.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what my mom meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I
Pravda?
just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Also, po Sugar Rush většinou netrvá až tak dlouho a po Sugar Rush je hodně silný crash. Takže i kdyby jsme měli Sugar Rush na začátku toho soudního procesu další den, tak asi o 2 nebo 3 věty dál by ten Sugar Rush zase klesnul dolů a měli bychom velkou depku, nebo co přesně potom následuje. Ale Sugar Rush je hodně krátkej zpravidla. Anyway, why don't you take a break as well?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people. The missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel.
Yep.
Resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence this 3rd person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this 3rd person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off.
Co když ten zavražděnej, ten nevím, jak se jmenuje, co když on byl ten culprit a úplnou náhodou ho Halsey vhodila do té krabice, kde byla ona, aby jako se zbavila toho vraha, co na ní útočí. A pak úplnou náhodou byl crashnut.
The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
There's really no need to be so insistent.
Exactly. We don't want to try.
As you wish.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Now the second round of baking over the 2 missing ingredients. So the discussion that follows does not yield much progress
That's it
anyway.
for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks for your help and for the snack.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go.
Si stejně myslím, že ten trial jako takovej, že i když on je vlastně ten trial o Linim a Linet, že mě napadlo, že by Lumina mohla vyzvat nějaký toho šampiona k duelu a vyhrát to. Ale jediný, kdo může vyzvat šampiona k duelu, je Liny a Linet, který jsou obvinění. Škoda.
I'll be back if I find anything new.
Prostě chci tak moc, aby Lumina někoho totálně zbombila. Neither Cal nor Halsey had a motive, but after having talked to Navia, the likelihood of a third person seems very low too.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
Já vám říkám,
It's
že...
probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare.
Já vám říkám, že...
Take Paimon's notes. They should help
Would
you
you
with
shut
the
up?
situation.
Já vám říkám, že prostě jediný, co mě fakt napadá v tenhle bod s tímhletím počtem evidence a co ostatní ví at this point, je, že ten pomocník Kaul se tam pod tím pódiem popral s tou Halsey a ta Halsey ho šoupnula do té krabice, což je důvod, proč vyjel v té krabici a hned byl crashnut tou skleněnou věcí. There we go.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Good luck to you. Well.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Oh, just you wait, you bitch.
Since both parties are present,
I said it.
I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Lenny clarifies out details of magic trick. Everyone in the audience is stunned.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Oh yeah?
There is
Really?
no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That
To
is
vzal
simply
jako
your
podklad.
hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so?
Já prostě chce vyprovokovat. To je všechno.
Here while you were inside your...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Vážně jsme se Linio nezeptali na ten thud. Měli jsme celý den. Celých 24 hodin prakticky. A nikdo prostě si nespomněl se na to zeptat. Vole. How could we forget asking Lenny about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They're probably representing Ortreus' stance on the trial in real time.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
Jestli mi někdy bude líto, tak já přísám, že odejdu z téhletý planety.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Wait, Fatui? A to je jako
No wonder they
crime?
did something like this.
Jako to, odkud jsou, není kriminální.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all.
Is
I'm
it?
sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they
Wow.
look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting in Discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Really? To by byl hodně krátký
All
Archon
those
Quest.
preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Linny and Lynette are Fatui.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's not about machine's ability to con others. Given how Linny has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with the other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. For real. I've been a victim of such scheme before. And now?
Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
When a client is without some key information, the defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a... Wow, to je fakt jako Phoenix Wright hra. Stejně jako ve Phoenix Wright hra, z toho málo, co jsem pochytil, Phoenix přeruší občas trial, aby sehnal nějakýho svědka. I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Well, Curtis journeyed into Lenny and Lynette backstage. Ale i kdybychom měli nějakého dalšího svědka, tak nemůžeme za ním dojít. Nikdo to nemůže opustit.
This is awkward. I didn't think the Hydroarchon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can you know if this isn't just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
Aha!
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Tak mezi tím, co ten vrah byl v tom tunelu, tak on byl v tom ventu, za tím tunelem, v tom basementu prostě tam. Takže on to slyšel z basementu, ale i kdyby to byl nějaký evidence, tak jako zmínit ten evidence by znamenalo uznat, že byl v basementu, kde nemá co dělat.
Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Why do you want to understand how the Orangeries operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Really? I thought so. I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges. I believe that judgment will be dispensed as it should.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Ale všechno to jsou slova. Nemáme ani jeden fyzický evidence. Jako slovo proti slovu jako nemůže nic dokázat. Liny's statement. Liny claims that he entered the chamber corridor and the tunnel down when the sky getting rest. Thus did not hear the thud. Liny claims to have heard a mysterious voice in the chamber that has his doorways code in the opera's undergoing structures. Takže místo kóru je tam nějaký týpek, který to manuálně ovládá. Really? No, bude muset uznat, že se snažil vloupat do Oratrisu, což je ještě horší pro hřešek než předtím. Jediná cesta, jak se dokáže očistit z předešlého celkem vážného prohřešení, je přiznat, že nemohl prohřešit to prohřešení předtím, protože dělal ještě něco horšího místo toho. Jako, what?
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Let's go on. Based on our positions against the events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Wow, gameplay mechanic of evidence hře. This evidence includes obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous accusation of fact that they're based on with new inferences. Use their refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. Tortures or say such shifts. Oratrice nebo ten člověk, co je tam vole v tom basementu. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle and unveil the truth.
Countdown began. He entered the tunnel.
A tohle je fakt jako Danganronpa.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed. Finally, he used the vase before making her change clothes to prevent others from. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and so Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowl's death would be ruled. And there you have it. That's the truth behind.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
Hell yeah, we do. By the way, to jsou obraz. Mám nakoukáno hodně z Danganronpa her, nejvíc prvního a druhého dílu. A to ještě s těma obrázkama, to je hodně podobný.
The key to
Totálně to
refuting
žeru.
Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
Yeah. Slyšel jsme to od Linnyho himself. Kde to je? Oh. Linny entered the tunnel as the countdown began. Ale to se stalo, on entrnul ten tunnel. Yes, he edited the chamber upon entering the tunnel. Did not. No. Tenhle ten claim se nedá refute, no, protože to je literárně pravda. To totálně skipnu, protože to literárně nemá tam co dělat. Prostě to se stalo. That time was a Linny and Halsey spotted that the client heard nothing there. Yeah, to je ten third.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Halsey. Was Linny in the tunnel at the time? Linny knocked Halsey out his way, he said we're close to prevent her from being identified. No možná, že by to bylo tady? Wait, to je prej správně, takže tady to nemůžu dát. No. That's it. Mám jenom těch pár věcí. So audible thumb that many audience members heard. Je to někde je. Jo, thought using the vase and goes. To bys byl hlasitý zvuk, ale ten thought byl podle mě z té krabice, ne z té vázy. No, to říkám. Knocked him out with the vase, leading to the victim's death. Taky ne. Já to prostě tu vázu proklikám, vole, protože prostě někde to je. Ne, že to prostě je úplně všem šumák, ty vole. Je to někde ten provaz taky? Vlastně víme, že to uvolnil, protože ten provaz byl cinknutý. A navíc to, že byl v tom basementu a slyšel tam něčí vlastně totálně irelevantní. Já nechápu, co to tam vole dělá. Jako kdyby mi dali všechny ty evidence, tak bych jako něco zkonstruoval, že mi dali tak mizerný věci, ty vole, že to fakt ani nejde. Třeba. No a tady mám vyzkoušet úplně všechno. Jo, jeho statement jako takovej jde taky. Jo, hear the third. Dobré. What?
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation.
What the fuck?
He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Jak tohle to dává smysl? Jak? Jako what the fuck? To je tak technická pravda, nereálná pravda, že to není možný. To je literárně pravda jenom z jednoho malého úhlu pohledu. To vůbec ani nedává smysl. Ale vy řekněte, jak může být jedno z těch věcí, vole, relevantní? No prostě, ona to je frázovaný tak blbě, že to prostě je šíleně otevřený a prostě to nemá vůbec žádný jakože přesný význam. Protože třeba tyhle ty dvě věci jsou úplně stejně frázovaný, ale mají jiný evidence. Jako, what? Jako co, že slyšel nějaký ten hlas, vole?
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
What? Jak říkám, jenom se proviní z toho, že chtěl sabotovat Oratrice, což může být ještě horší crime než tenhle ten předtím. On si vůbec nepomohl. Vůbec. Si literárně vůbec nepomohl. Jo, on ho nezabil, jenom se vloupával někam jinam.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. You say, however, that Cole bumped into Lenny by chance.
If that's the case, then if Cole hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
Jo, proč to komplikovat?
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back
Žádnej.
your claims?
Do you remember how you refuted your Lenny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon, and a critical clue. Which is the evidence that Lenny wasn't when the crime took place. Wow, je to u kniha s úplně vším. Sláva Celestii. Which is the evidence Lenny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place. Ještě v tomhletom najít. Identity, listening lady identities, strange sound during the magic show that and thud, entrance and exit, irrelevant. It's the probability of the third person, magic trick, ooh. Ton of vendors. A to jsou literálně tady ty věci v tunelu, ale mě to prostě nevezme. Mě to prostě donutí přemýšlet nad těma 3 věcma, udělat to šíleně jednoduchý. Jako to, kdo byla ta lady, není absolutně relevantní. Strange sound during Magického. Yeah, everyone heard it. He didn't.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof!
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Wow, takový whataboutism. Murder. Select the gear again and visit your corresponding case question. Select answers and fill an empty gear to verify correctness of your deduction. If you have made mistakes, you might swing another selection from remaining options, aka jako předtím. Once you have answered all the questions, you can complete this segment. The Guardias investigation reports indicate the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. How did the culprit trigger the accident? To je jednoduše. Vyrobil speciální shitty rope. If Lenny is no longer in the system, the younger members of the shop would have been able to tamper with the troops. Only the remaining troop members would have been able to tamper with it. Lenny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a bar, there was a box and the other member transported. Lenny himself would also use the stone to get to the other side. Yeah, what was the original plan for performance? I changed it out with Lynette would take charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady when they say found the top reasons for his orange unknown. Who was the only person who possibly committed the crime? Wow, jeden z nich. Pro mě to byl ten Cowell himself. A jenom zabil sám sebe. Select any to view detailed information. Já si pořád myslím, že Cowell v tom byl zapletený a jenom zabil sám sebe. Omylem.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
Tam je příliš neznámých kolem ní. A navíc to fituje k té jiný záhadě o chybějících ženách, takže to není až tak pravděpodobný, nebo moc evidencí tam neukazuje.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Wait. What if? Co když tato typka se převlíkla za někoho jinýho? Tam byla hromada obleků v tom tunelu, jako nějakých těch manekínů s věcma. Nebo co když měla něco připravenýho a... Co když to v tom měla nějaký schéma a převlíkla se, proto tam byly ty její šaty, protože se převlíkla do jiných a odešla oficiálně jako jiná osoba přes registraci ven. Nebo se teďkon schovává v publiku jako nějaká jiná osoba. Co když ji nemůžou najít, protože tu je pořád mezi námi.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
Každý z nich má nějaký důvod, proč bych to dokázal vidět. U každý z těch 3 možností bych dokázal vidět důvod, proč by ta hra s tím šla a vyrobila si proto nějaký důvod. Pro tohohle týpka, protože má k tomu asi největší dosah, nemá k tomu vůbec žádný důvod. Měl rád Linyho, Linet a všichni měli rádi jeho. Neměl moc žádný důvod. Ten týpek má možnost a příležitost perfektní, ale hapruje tam u něj důvod, proč by něco takového dělal, protože u něj je relativně známý nebo vyjasněný, že všichni mají rádi jeho a on má rád všechny lidi kolem sebe, takže vůbec mi neměl psychický důvod, proč někomu zazlívat nebo někomu prostě hroutit život. Proč by se pokoušel o něco takového? Navíc je mrtvej a těžko obvinit mrtvolu. Jako, motiv u něj není absolutně vůbec a je vyjasněný, že je vyjasněný opak. Ten third person, to je jako přinést někoho, o kom jsme nevěděli, to je klasický, budete překvapení, protože to je někdo, koho jste neviděli a nemohli jste to čekat, tudíž jste to nemohli předpovědět. Což je taková shitty věc, která hromada mystery her dělají, nebo mystery pořadu. A to Missing Lady, ta Halsey, jak jsem teďkon před nějakou dobou řekl, mohla se převlít a teďkon se vydává za někoho jiného, kdo je pořád v tom Opera Houseu. Takže ve skutečnosti pořád neodešla. Takže i ona má určitý úhel pohledu, ve kterém je to technicky za to možný. A to je ten problém. Všechny tři možnosti mají určitý úhel pohledu, kde to je technicky za to možný, že to jsou oni. Ale pro mě to vypadá všechno úplně stejně. To je jako dívat se na 3 odstíny modrý a říct mi, jakou vidím barvu. Na všechny 3 vám řeknu, že vidím modrou. Prostě to je, jestli jaký odstín je nejtmavší, prostě to je jako absolutně jde mimo mě. Já si myslím tohle, protože proč by tam jinak byly ty šaty, protože kdyby se převlíkla, tak by se mohla převlíct do šatů někoho jiného, nebo se vydat za někoho jiného a odejít, nebo zůstat v potajnu. Takže to je můj headcanon osobní, který bych rád propagnul. Well, it's not her. Byl to ten typ.
His name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Já moc hodně dobře chci. Já hodně chci. Aby to nebyla třetí osoba, protože to bylo to nejvíc srabácký vysvětlení. Prostě neobjasnit v jakýkoliv délce předtím prostě tu osobu a prostě ji vytáhnout literárně z prdele. Prostě literárně z prdele vytáhnout nějakou random osobu, která to byla, tak tudíž jste to nemohli předpovědět. Takže jako druhý chci předpokládat, že ten týpek se omylem zabil. Yep, týpek se zabil. Hypothesis correct.
That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so?
To bych chtěl slyšet také, jak přesně.
Let's hear your reasoning then.
Jako... Už jsem o tom říkal svoji headcanon teorii, definitivně minimálně jednou v minulosti, teďko někde. Ale chtěl bych slyšet fine details, please. Podrobnosti, protože já jsem jenom přemítal nad hrubýma tahama, jak se co zhruba událo.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Cowell's plan says you inside the tunnel. How come he envisage Linny as having been unable to interfere with the crime? How is Linny unable to...
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample
Linny
time.
is unable to interfere with the crime, protože jeho statement, protože nebyl v tom tunelu. How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey.
Zvuky nějakýho struggle. Who is the prime suspect currently? Linny.
The deceased's
Well, currently.
Powell, Linny's assistant.
Where did the missing Halsey go?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So there must...
Really?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. It would have been tough for both people to fit into... No one entered or left the
What? Really?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
Jenom statujeme, že neodešli ventem, což je sakra obvious. Nebo to je pointa? Že jako nemáme nic. Criminals must handle some methods behind Linny's magic trick must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Leaving aside how he died, Cowell had all the means to commit a crime at his disposal. The strangeness could have been the sign of Colin Halsey struggling. Linny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time to Cowell to bring Halsey out of the magic box and in the audience stands. According to Garda's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there would be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that it would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the
Se převlíkal za někoho jinýho, já to říkám.
none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Escaping from the water tank. Magic. Could have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold it! Slam on the desk.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Where did missing Halsey go?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Zrovna to zmínila, tak jako samozřejmě, že to vezmu.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we present Carol's personal effects. We might find something there.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Are we?
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
After some time, a guard there returns with news.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
Primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Okay.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Zajmout thinking pose. Liquid the goddess found like the dissolve Fontainians into water. Who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Okay, obvious. What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution? What? Control the timing?
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Já absolutně nevím, jako timing of the dissolution. Jako ten dissolution samotný nekontroloval svůj vlastní timing, tak zkusím cokoliv jinýho. Já trefil jsem to.
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Že ten inner layer, ta inner boxa měla nějak jako ty flašičky přivázaný na sobě? What item did the culprit use to dissolve? Boom.
The water from the primordial sea should already have been...
Yeah. What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Wow.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not...
What did the culprit use to try the timing of this? Tohle třeba. What did you hide the mechanism by the
Remember, there
crime?
was something else within the... Lynette was in the magic box on... I remember
Lynette
there was something...
to asi není zapletená. Tohle? Yep. Go for it.
Ahem. It's in the original plan. Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target.
Go tamper with our tank rope and number select.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
And it did nothing.
What do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
Really? Někdo to tam musel nastražit, ty vole.
What? That can't be.
Really? Tam prostě nastraží.
Wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
To je takovej last minute bullshit, vole, že to není možný.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
I mean, if you let it be.
Paimon can't think of anything either.
Navial lívla před chvíli nějakou dobou. Takže ona ještě se musí dramaticky vrátit.
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my
Jako aby se vrátila po konci trialu by bylo hodně retardovaný, takže dramaticky vejde na poslední chvíli.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Oh my
I'll show you an
god,
amazing
no one
trick.
cares.
One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila.
And voila. Hi. Wow.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
Najednou se zase zmotnila zpátky.
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
Damn.
I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly,
Yep.
my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that
Damn.
Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lenny
Jo,
was
to
the
je
one who
ona.
caught me in the act.
Ty krása, to jsem úplně zapomněl.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure.
To je pravda.
So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there,
Wow.
though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes.
Takže ten Kaul chtěl tu osobu jako kidnapnout a totálně jakože totálně zmlátit. Ona jenom ho zmlátila zpátky. Holy shit.
I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably. Professionally could make it work.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that,
To
I
byl
wouldn't
Kaul.
have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Previous refutation. Tady není co refute, no, on enternul ten tunnel. Was it dissolved? Halsey was not dissolved. Jedna z těch věcí to je.
Wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Co říká, že to prostě je otvírání dveří té krabice, že někdo chce dovnitř nebo ven. Jsem to říkal. To byla jedna z mých prvních záchvěvů. Fight did indeed break out in the tunnel. Yep.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lily-Ann and Cowell.
Jo, Lily-Ann a Cowell byli vzájemně zaujatí a oba byli zlí z jiných důvodů a oba dva udělali svoji část svých vlastních skýmů a prostě jenom se nešťastnou náhodou střetli. As Halsey appeared completely unharmed before their eyes, foreigners can check no water. As their fight, what did Halsey do?
Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved. He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect. He tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Oh. To bylo, kde jsem chtěl vidět, jakože what. Ona se schovala v tom costume trunku, ty voli v těch supply krabicích, který jsem prohlížel, tak ona byla v těch supply krabicích. What? Ona byla prostě v truhle na kostýmy. OK. Sure.
That she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
Oh.
Sneaky thief.
That's what.
All the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Really?
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statement?
There's nothing to say. Ženská vyloženě vyšla na stage a řekla yes I did it. Řekla udělala jsem to a takhle jsem to udělala.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
That's not the way he rolls. And you fucking deserve it.
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
Zaslouží si to.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list.
The perpetrator serial disappearances byl Cowl celou dobu. A nakonec se střetl se zlodějkou a totálně ho převálcovala. Wow.
With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowl entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately,
yes,
this case at least can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in
Ah!
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Pojistka. He turned into water as soon as he started spilling the beans.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Cool. Nothing is found to seen apart from the liquid lid band after Vaughn dissolved.
just going back now?
Yes. The problem seems to be solved. You're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
What is it? Are we done?
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be false accused. I want to be sure that I want to be sure that we were square.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
What happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Damn.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's not bad. The name is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand. Goodbye.
Bye, Linny.
A twist of magic. And now we can leave. Ale ještě než odejdem, ještě něco nás drží.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I'm sorry, Navia.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I wasn't really trying to defend Lenny. I was unnecessarily looking into the serious of this case.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, should we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Pajman bezzetná díra, která se plní jídlem.
Well, I just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
If you say so. Let's go ahead.
Twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi is treating, count Paimon in.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Bourg? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Act 1 complete. Prelude to Blancheur and Noircier. Similar project like the Fanville of yesteryear. Go to Hotel de Broad. Cliffhanger. Ja, to jsou ty chujeviny. As light rain falls without reason. Act 2. Going... Startovní lokace pro Akt 2 je samotný Hotel de Broad. Lenny has been acquitted, but you're not sure about if you should attack him or hug him. So you decide to take up Navia's offer for a farewell meal to celebrate your cooperation. V závorce, I suppose. Je prostě goodbye Lenny, spooky goodbye Fontaine, I don't care anymore, let's just have it over with. So semi-automatic forging. Should go check it out. Leave the upper house. No. A to bude pro dnešní díl všechno. Hodně zajímavý akt jako takovej. Bylo to delší, než jsem myslel. Čekal jsem ve 2 různých bodech, že to tam ukončí a že udělají cliffhanger a že ten druhý akt bude o rozuzlení. Jakože v ten první akt se stane ta věc jako taková a Linyho obrana a ten court jako takovej Phoenix Wright Time bude akt 2 a že to takhle rozkouskujou. Ale ne, celý to prostě vzali na jeden dlouhý zátah. A that is it. Bylo odhaleno několik dalších velkých záhadných částí Fontaineu a kolem věci. Jako to dissolving into water a ta profesi. Taky už jsme dostali zmínku o Arlečíně, neboli The Knave, a.k.a. Father. Protože je asi natolik drsňácká, že se víc hodí Father než Mother. Což, I guess. Anyway. Celý akt jako takovej místy too much cringe for me, ale jenom lehce místy, takže pořád good. Je to jeden z těch lepších Archon Questů. Mám na konci toho Archon Questu pocit jako v jednom z top 5. Ale tak jakože 3. až 5. nejlepší, kde bych to měl týrnout. Jako jsou, nedokáže přesně vyjmenovat z hlavy, ale jsou určitě nějaký jiný Archon Questy v minulosti, který mě víc nadchnuly a nadejmuly. Taky konec konců tohle byl první Archon Quest a některý v Archon Quest finále, anebo předposlední ty části jsou hodně epický, hodně velký lore dropy a mají větší náboj než první akt. Ale na první opening akt to docela ušlo. Jako celá věc, na čem je Fontaine založený, je ten justice systém a celý nám ho ukázali. Takže jako I'll take it. Je to celý zaplněný bullshitama a mechanikama a reasoning je tam totálně bullshitovní. Ale to je prostě tím, že já prostě tyhle ty věci nemám moc rád. Obzvláště když mě nutí vymýšlet, jak je věc možná, i když je to tak zaonačený, že by to mohlo být ze 3 různých důvodů. A já mám vybrat jeden konkrétní a pak na mě hra řve, že je to špatně, že musím vybrat něco jiného. Anyway, to bylo asi hodnocení. Já se s váma loučím. A než ukončíme video, tak samozřejmě musíme upholdnout vyšpolovací tradici. A kurentní banner je Sigwin, nově brand new přidaná postava se svojí vlastní side story questou. Myslím, nebo hangout. Myslím side story quest, ale nejsem si jistý. A samozřejmě Forina, která teď, když jsme ji plně poznali během plnýho jednoho Archon questu, je totální kurva. A hrozně se těším, až jí spadne hřebínek. A vzhledem k tomu malinkému premonitionu, kdy jsme ji chvilku viděli v tom, jak se jmenuje, fucking tomu Lantern Raitu, kde na konci toho Lantern Raitu byla asi tak na 10 minut, tak se toho možná i dokonce lehoudince dočkáme změny osobnosti, ale mají asi objekt Archon Questu, kdy to udělat, takže s nějakou dobu si s tím budu muset potrpět, než ji někdo srazí hřebínek. Samozřejmě budeme polovat na Sigwin Banner, kdyby náhodou, protože Foreign už máme. Máme 5 možných půlů, dám zase 2 z těch, se nějak uspokojíme. Takže půl číslo 1 of the day. Prosím, RNGesus, Gacha Gods on my side. Bral bych Gaminga. Toho nemám vymaxovanýho a je definitivně velmi silný. Ale teprve ho levelím, protože potřeboval Fontaine. Yes! Je to tam! Gaming je na světě. Druhý Gaming. Yes. Je tam. Dvojitá Gaming nálož. Hell yeah. Well. Jdeme si vyzvednout naše ovoce. Tady nějaká nová inkoka na Ascension u Arlecchiny. Jo, to je to Fantastical Blessings z té Knights of Avonius knihovny té tajné místnosti. Že je jedna z těch favorizovaných, nebo těch blesnutých postav. After the above character joins the party, max HP attack and defense are all increased by 20%. They will take effect both inside and outside the imaginative theater. Time remaining 30 dní. Takže tyhle ty určitý postavy jsou na 30 dní buffnutý. Arlecchina, kterou máme, toho máme, ale nepoužívám ho, totálně ho nesnáším. Klorindu nemáme, Wanderera taky ne, ale máme Kukishinobu, kterou moc nepoužívám, a Faruzen, kterou vůbec nepoužívám. Takže realisticky jenom Arlecchino. No. Máme tu Gaminga, který má abilita Power Up a pasivku. A also Bestial Ascent je skill a Susani Gilded Dance je ultina. Bestial Ascent, ten základní skill, který hodně spamuje, je Power Upnutý. Nice. To se přesně hodí. When Bestial Ascent plunging attack happens, Charmed Cloud either hits an opponent, it will restore 2 energy to Gaming. This way can be triggered once every 2 seconds. Takže když pojedeš do ultinou, může to použít zase tak 6krát, tak si v podstatě restorne půlku té ultiny jenom díky tomu. Jenom díky pasivnímu efektu. Tím aktivním aplikováním toho elementu, což vygeneruje další ty partikly, ještě mu k tomu přidá. Takže během té jedné ultiny to možná sám o sobě může doplnit celou ultinu sám. Pak je to další ability upgrade, Evil Daunting Roar a ultimátní To Tame All Beasts. Bestial Ascent, plunging attack, Charm Cloud Strider's crit rate increased by 20%, increased by 40%. Attack radius will be increased. Takže to zvětší to AOEčko toho plunge a crit rate toho plunge. To je docela dobrý mikroboosty. Že tohle je 7, mám tady to maxed out na 4. A tohle to už bude velmi silné. On totiž potřebuje toho Firecraba, kterýho už jsem lokalizoval a pracuju na něm, ale samozřejmě po levelu 60 už těch resursů je potřeba docela dost. Takže working on it. A ten Reupload se nemusí nutně dávat, ale jelikož tak trošku vidím do budoucnosti, tak další epizodu nenatočím ve svém časovém pásmu nějakou dobu, pokud nebude nějaký event. A i kdyby, tak budu pulovat z těch bočních, normálních, modrých, standardních vyškuliček. A na tady ten banner pravděpodobně nebudu pulovat celou tu jeho dobu. Tak dám tomu ten druhý půl, i když ten jeden půl bych normálně úplně nechal, protože to úplně stačí. Tak bring it on. Sigyn banner, možná dropne Rosaria nebo Noel. Myslím, obě dvě mám namaxovaný, takže A nahromadíme to ty Starglattery a teda ty Stardusty, takže good. RNG Jesus, give me a 4-star. Dalšího Gaminga, why not? I believe. Třetí Gaming, bude třetí Gaming? Nebo bude Rosaria nebo Noel? U Rosaria si aspoň nejsem jistý. U Noel jsem si jistý, že je namaxovaná. Yes! To je, myslím, na řadě power up té ultiny, ten level up. Well, Gaming má třetí příspěvek. OK, věřím, nekřič tady a Gaming je oficiálně powered the fuck up. Ultina plus 3 levely a maximum upgrade level je opět vyšší. Tak bonusový klip s jedním extra pulem, který střihnu někam do nějakého budoucího dílu. Vítejte na konci toho dílu, kam jsem to střihnul, by the way. A pokud jsem se rozhodl to dát ten bonusový půl do toho videa, tak pravděpodobně se tam nestalo nic moc extra, nebo jsem to dal do toho hned dalšího od teďka, protože jsem byl jiný. In any case, jeden extra půl for your viewing pleasure. Protože stejně dostanu hovna, takže já z toho požitek mít nebudu, protože 5-star nebo užitečná 4-star mi z toho nedropne. Možná tak nějaký sacrificial zbraně, ty vždycky beru. Ale in any case, let's do it. I pray to the gacha gods and RNGesus s nějakou užitečnou 4-staru, protože to je to, co to bude. I kdyby to byla zbraň, tak dobrá zbraň dokáže potěšit. Je to official, to myslím máme na maxovanou, takže doesn't matter. That is gonna be all, isn't it? Yep. Official máme na maxovanou. Well, nothing much. In any case, mohlo to být cokoliv a bohužel jsme nebyli šťastní, takže to bude vše. Zapulovali jsme si, dali jsme mega velký power boost Gamingovi, kterýho ještě levelím a dám mu normální power boost levelem a lepšími artefakty a zbraněmi. Takže bude tak nasílený teďkon, že poletím do čela mýho používaného žebříčku velmi rychle. Ale to bude všechno v příštích dílech, který budou pro mě minimálně o hodně později. Takže já děkuji, že jste se dívali, uvidíme se snad někdy u dalšího dílu nebo jiného videa a pokud budete spát, tak dobrou noc.